Right then, guys, this is a sincere video from yesterday. I can't catch a break. Right? So let me explain everything nice and slow, calm as possible, and God's honest truth. Yesterday was a bit hectic, but everything what still got said, I still stand by what got said. You know what I mean? So I was a bit pissed off. I was a bit angry for what Bash did. And no one knows where he is now. Someone said a man fitting his description has been seriously put in hospital and been beat up in Doncaster. You know what I mean? And it's got nothing to do with me unless he's ran into a bit of trouble somewhere. I don't know. No one's heard nothing from him. I must have rang his phone about 100 times. I must have messaged him 100 times. We don't know nothing like that. So basically, I'm going to tell you how it's gone from start to finish. So when this fight was due to happen and Bash jumped on the train randomly, even though we was due to box Friday and Saturday. And everything what I'm saying here, guys, on my dad's ashes, I promise you now, this is whole on my heart. You know what I mean? I promise you now. No more bravado, no more shit, no more nothing for camera. This is 100%, please believe me. I hope you know the way I'm talking to you. I'm being 100 million% serious with you. Now, as he's turned up randomly, Bash, saying he's on the train and what have you, and he said, I don't want no PPV, I don't want no money, it's going to be all for the views, it's going to be all for the fight. I did manage to breach contact with him and I says, I still want to do a PPV, and he says, yeah, that's fine, you can have the money whatsoever. Which, by the way, guys, I'm thankful. I made sure everyone's been refunded who paid the PPV, so I don't roll like that. I don't do tricks what Shadow Boxer and that did where they rob people's money. I will never ever do a thing like that. That's like getting ticket sales and keeping people's tickets who's quid to support you. It's absolutely scummy behaviour. So I've made sure 100 million% that everyone got the money back on the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I'm not a scumbag what takes the public's money and runs like that. Yeah, when something doesn't happen. Honestly, I can't catch a break. I'll tell you now, yeah, as a man, I could have a nervous breakdown right now and crack up. Because you cannot write what is happening. You cannot write what is happening to me. You know what I mean? So, as Bash has landed at Doncaster train station, he's bumped into one of my pals from Intake, Michael Clark, yeah? And I didn't send Michael there to wait for him or anything, he just naturally bumped into him. Anyone know Michael Clark on here from Donny, please message him, he'll confirm everything I said. He's seen Bash and he's rang me automatically on the Facebook. I says, keep him there. Oh, and my other pal, Charlie Morell, scar on the face. Everyone knows Charlie, drives Mercs, goes to the gym, well-known kid in Doncaster. Charlie's bumped him. I said, Charlie, grip him there, yeah? And just put him in the motor and just wait till I send someone round to pick him up in a motor for the fight to happen, to take him to the spot. Yeah. So anyways, as they've gripped him, Bash, not gripped him in that way, but like, obviously staying in his company. First thing he says, I'm having a fucking drink first, before I have any fights. So he's gone to the station pub, next to Doncaster train station. As he's gone in there, the lads have told me he starts knocking drinks back left, right and centre. And I said, what? And he says, yeah. He says, you were knocking them back left, right and centre, mate. He says, we're getting pissed up. I said, make sure you don't get fucking too drunk. I said, he's fighting me in like literally 20 minutes. And they said, I won't do. Now, I was with my missus at the Deep in Hull. Because obviously I wasn't expecting Bash to turn up randomly like this. So he caught me a bit off guard. Obviously, if I would have been ready on the Friday and Saturday, I would have been in full gear waiting at venue. Bash gets to venue. So I was thinking, is this a ploy with my enemies in the background or with my haters on YouTube to try and make me look foolish or something? Like, how could I put it? Like, yeah, Bash, forget the PPV Friday and Saturday. You just make yourself down, turn up to Donny randomly and start putting videos everywhere and start making me look like a bit of an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Because you know what they're trying to do to my name, don't you? And we've all seen what they try and do. They try and make me look like a fool. You know what I mean? They're trying to make me look like a fucking idiot on here. I'm not an idiot. So when Bash has come out of the station pub, he's got in a van with a lad who I don't know, but I'm good pals with his pal Ash Betts, yeah. So Ash Betts sends this kid called Owen, who owns a shop in Donny town centre, that is, yeah, who drives a van. If anyone knows him. A lot of people know Ash Betts in Donny. So they've chucked this kid. They've chucked Bash in the van. Yeah, well, he jumped in on his own accord, obviously. He gets in the van, and then they've done everything what he says, what I told you with the tracking thing. Pulled up to a shallow bit of canal. He jumps in, like that, yeah, taking the piss, having a laugh, giggling, pissed out his head, and jumps out. Come on, Brett, mate, we'll be fighting, all this and that, blah, 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 blah. Gets searched, gets his phone took. Anyway, while these are driving to the deep, because obviously I wanted to jump in the motor and take him to a spot so we could have our PPV and have our fight for all use. They says, yeah, no problem, Brett. They said, we're on our way now. That's when I put a status. And I says, right, buzzing. I said, Bash is on his way to fight, blah, blah, blah. I get a phone call. So, no. It's been over 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I thought, no one's still here. 40 minutes, no one's here. It's been over an hour, no one here. An hour and a half, no one's turned up. 2 hours, and I thought, what's going on? So I tried ringing the phone, and there was no answer a few times. The phone kept getting put down. Then he's answered, and he's like, look, mate, I'm not getting this Owen fella, van. He's like, look, mate, he says, we were 10 minutes off, and he's told us to turn back round now, or he's going to the police. I said, what? He says, yeah, he's going to the police, and he says, I'm going to get locked up for kidnap. So I've gone, what? I said, what do you mean? Like that, he says, mate, he says he's absolutely pissed out of his head. And I said, what do you mean he's pissed out? He said, I said, put him on the phone. Yeah, so I said, Bash, I says, what are you playing at? I says, what are you playing at, Bash? Yeah? I says, mate, what's going on? And he's gone, change your plans now. I'm doing no PPV. I want a grand cash. Yeah? Well, we didn't agree to none of this, Bash. You know what I mean? He says, he basically said, well, I want a grand cash now, or there's no fight happening. You know what I mean? He says, you want to fucking come down and punch my head in, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? He says, I want a grand cash. And I said, so I just turned around and says to him, I said, fuck's sake. Like that, yeah. So I got him a grand cash together. I said, got your grand cash. And he's like, right, not be long. Pissed out of his fucking mind, yeah? On the phone, I thought, I'm not even going to give you a grand cash because you're fucking out your head. You know what I mean? You're fucking steaming. You're going to make me look like a cunt. You're going to make me look bad on the internet. You know what I mean? So I said, right, and Bash, no problem. So Bash is going to this kid's shop called Owen's Shop, yeah? Got too steaming, and basically I was having a bit of an argument with him because I said, look, you shouldn't be letting him get too drunk. And anyone could confirm this. I fucking flipped out a bit, to be fair. And I said, listen, I said, I'll come down there and I'll start punching fuck out of everyone around town centre now. So I'll fucking smack up a few people, and turns up into Donny town centre, as you can imagine, and a few people's got scared, do you know what I mean? And took off out of Donny town centre. Now, while I've done this, Bashers ran out the back doors of the shop, thinking like, thinking like we were coming to kill him or something in fucking middle of Donny. Now, as he's ran out the back, we've been trying to track him down, and he's ended up getting lost on Copley Road. He's been running for his life down Copley Road, pissed out his head, and my pals have been shouting, Bash, what are you doing? Then he's gone to this, he's ended up coming back round to that Owen's shop after about 2 hours at the backs, absolutely paranoid out his head. I think he's been on the tackle, to be fair. I think he's been on the sniff or whatever, on a drink, but he was paranoid and wide out his mind. And he's saying that the Travellers and the Gypsies in Doncaster are threatening him and his wife, and his missus and children, like I told you yesterday. And please, if no one believes me, ask this Owen fella who's shopping Donny Town Centre, ask Ash Betts, ask Scott Turner from X-Forp, ask Michael Clark from Intake. Yeah, they'll all tell you the exact same. He says that's why he can't fight. He says they said they're going to burn his house down, so up in London or something, and batter life out of him, and he's not going to be able to leave Doncaster if he takes this fight on. You know what I mean? For no amount of money. You know what I mean? And ask them people whose names I just mentioned there, and they will verify everything I just said. They're not hard to get on Facebook. Scott Turner, X-Forp, 1. Number 2, Michael Clark, Intake. Number 3, Ash Allen on Facebook under his Ash Betts. And number 4, this Owen fella, who I don't really know, who owns a shop in town. That's it. It was pals with Ash. We got put onto. That's that. And please, this is the God's honest gospel truth. I did everything in my power. I was chucking money. I was sending videos. Please, lads, £1,000 each. Honestly, you couldn't write it. And then this Owen fella says, mate, he's been on about going to coppers. He's gonna get us locked up for kidnapping that. And I thought, what the fuck is going on here, Bash? You've turned up 4 or 5 days randomly, and I think I'm gonna look after you in the middle of Donny, bro. Do you think I'd let you travel all that way and not look after you? So that's it. I'll never ever get into any situation with Bash ever again whatsoever. And I hope he gets found safe and well. And I hope that wasn't him last night, who took a bit of an hiding and ended up in Donny Hospital. You know what I mean? I wish him all the best. You know what I mean? So obviously after that, I got fucking pissed off and I went for a night out round Leeds. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm miles away from any trouble anyway. You know what I mean? So after when that's happened, I made sure the PPV money got put through. But at the times, things got a bit hazy. That Josh Pop from Scarborough and Andy Smith robbed the PPV money because they set up the PPV thing, and then all of a sudden the PPV money went missing. So I've accused them of robbing the pay-per-view money when there were no fight. So I flipped out a bit, saying, "Listen, lads, I'm gonna slap you both up. Do you know what I mean? You fucking robbed me. You know what I mean? Listen, I can't be chewed with. I'm not gonna bully anyone because they're no match to me. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Leave it. But listen, people are quick to bring people from Emsworth to give Bash a good hiding, won't they? Can you remember in all stables, and when boots on the other foot, they shot through. Now, Andy Smith's obviously dad's gaff got touched last night. Obviously, I was under a camera in Leeds when all this has gone off last night, and whoever did it said something like Doncaster boys on it. Now, that's not my voice. This is my voice. That's not my voice on the camera. Andy's got in touch and he said he knows whose voice it is on that camera. It's one of his enemies who's in the Bridlington area. I'm not going to say no names on here because it's not my place. And obviously the kid who did it is not my size and build. So whoever has had trouble with Andy Smith has obviously done that to his dad's house, seeing our video, and took advantage of the situation, saying the Doncaster boys are here to make it look like us. We're not that stupid. And please believe me, if I was sending anyone to do up to any houses, anyone knows me, I'm not going to put a brick through the window and run off like a child. The lot would have got done. Downstairs, upstairs, round back, upstairs, car, the lot. You know what I mean? We don't put one brick and run through. That's something I do when I was 6 years old. You know, so please understand me on that one. So don't give me no shit or no hate online. I don't condone it or whatsoever. Not my game. And like I said, I can prove I was under a camera at all times when all this shit were happening anyway. Not my game. Yeah. Now, that being said, Bash, I've got loads of lads now in Donny keeping their eye out for Bash. I don't know where he is. His missus don't know where he is. He's gone. Bash is gone. I don't know what has gone. I don't know if he's been locked up or what. But something has happened to Bash. And I don't know what it is. Yeah. I wish him well and I hope it comes down right, because even though he did turn up randomly, I wish him well, and I wish we could have done a bit of content there for you all, even if I did let Bash knock smoke out of me for 2 minutes and me gave him a body shot. Now, that being said, Traveller Bible and Hedgehog Man Video Craig will confirm to you right now, KSI has been in touch with the team, and I don't know if Danny spoke to him in the background, but he's reached out to me, and he's reached out to Danny, and he wants us on the main event as Misfits. I've shared his screenshot and his messages online on YouTube and on Facebook. Obviously, I accept. Obviously, that goes without saying. I know Danny accepts. So we'll get this fight on the road and finally put it to bed after all. No more shit talk. A few nasty things got said, but listen, you mentioned my grandma first, though, Dan. You know what I mean? As soon as you put my grandma in the comments straight away, that's when I said what I said. You don't talk about my grandma. I want my grandma's skirt. That's what you were saying. You talk about my grandma's skirt, I talk about someone else. You know what I mean? So you did dish it out first on that one. You know what I mean? And you didn't like the response. So we'll fight on the Misfits, what KSI put on. Now, we also know that we had an offer other day for a large amount of cash, both of us the same amount of money, to fight this Saturday, which I agreed for. Now, if these people do drop this money off on Friday, I will fight you Saturday, like we both agreed. Because obviously I have to check the money, see if it's fake, see if, what's it called, put it under a pen and see if it's genuine. Now, I've had no money off these fellas before. I've done some business with them, but I've not seen no money off them yet. You know what I mean? So, talk sheep. They turn up. They've got my address. You know what I mean? They know where I live. They turn up with the readies Friday. I'll fight you Saturday, no problem. You know what I mean? Well, I'll fight Mike Tyson for that amount of money. Give him best win, lose or draw. There we go. And that's on my fucking dad's ashes, straight to you. Now, for some reason, if it turns out to be a load of shit and I don't turn up with the readies Friday, then obviously I'll box you on the Misfits on the main event. KSI's put it out, it wants it. We're going to do millions and millions of views. They'd be daft not to in a no-weight fight with gloves on. I don't know if they do 4-ounce gloves or 10-ounce gloves or what, I'm not sure. But that fight would probably suit you more anyway, with your boxing ability anyway. As I asked for an all-in fight on Saturday, and you asked for boxing rules. And then I said to your pal Jonathan Stoner, I'd meet you in the middle then. I would have 4-ounce gloves, no kicking, no headbutting, no eye gouging, and meet halfway. So we meet one another on mutual terms. You get me? I was happy to do that for you. Like I said, I've spoke to Jonathan Stoner, I spoke to all them. That's that anyway. Talk's cheap, irrelevant. It's irrelevant, yeah? I'm more gutted than anything after all the shit what was yesterday for this to happen to me again. You know what I mean? For this to happen to me again. Man, it's soul destroying. It's soul destroying when you're working with people who ain't got a fucking brain, yeah? And it's like, you've turned up, pal, 4 days without anyone knowing on the sly. You fucked the PPV men off, Andrew Anthony, Mundo, the Irish lads. You said you're not working with them. And you've just turned up and dropped it on me out of the blue. And I'm rushing around like an headless chicken to get things done. And then all of a sudden, you run away, yeah? And you leave me in the shit like that, Bash. You know what I mean? You're making me look like an idiot in my own area. And now, I hope it hasn't happened to you, because there's loads of different rumours going around that Bash has been done in on Copley Road. And he's in hospital now. You know what I mean? I don't know what the crack is. You know what I mean? I ain't got a clue what's going on. His missus is saying something like, what's she say? Did he miss the train, the last train to London? No one knows where Bash is. Bash has gone. You know what I mean? And I don't know, and I wish him all the best. But Bash, you're coming into the area. You needed to be sticking with me where you're safe. You're going wandering around the areas. Doncaster's not a safe place on a night. When you're an outsider going around saying for it's not a safe place. And so yeah, wish Bash all the best. Now, that being said, apart from that, yeah, I'm absolutely good. And I'm done. So if you can speak to Hedgehog Man, Video Craig, he'll confirm the KSIs, 100% real. It's all genuine. Rest is on Danny. Obviously, I have no doubts he accepts that, and that's that. No shit talk. Let's just get it on and we'll get it sorted out. Put it to bed once and for all. That's that. And have a nice bit of money. You know what I mean? That's that. Please. Because this is beyond the joke now. You know what I mean? It's absolutely beyond the joke. And I was a bit eccentric yesterday. But everything I said yesterday, I still stick by. Even though I had a few shandies, I stick by what I say. No matter what, that's how I roll. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Until Bash comes out and does a video, we're waiting. Yeah, so I look forward to it. Yeah. But listen, guys, like I said, I apologise to everybody there for yesterday, for the shower shitstorm what come, and everyone got the money back on the refund. I don't do what Shadowboxer did and rip people off. You know what I mean? Everyone got refunded. You know what I mean? So, hand on that, I apologise. I'm absolutely gutted. And I hope Bash is found safe and well. And Danny, please go on your Instagram, Danny. Message KSI. Reaching out and let's sort this out there. If you're struggling, yeah, let's just get it all announced. You know what I mean? Love you. Take care, guys.